It's officially February, that time of year when people not in a relationship feel pressure to start a terrible one, and people in a terrible relationship feel pressure to post about how wonderful it is on Instagram. So, I thought it seemed an opportune time to share some dating advice that will help you avoid at least the pitfalls of your own creation. Other people's behavior, I'm afraid I can't help you with. Hi, I'm Mayhem, musician, philosopher, cult leader, human, and here's my advice. Don't lie. Most people feel like they need to tell lies to the person they're dating in order to get them to like them. But not only does this set you up for a terrible relationship and breakup, it can keep you from finding the type of people you really want and push them away when you do. And even if you don't think of yourself as being a liar, you might be misleading people in ways that have the same negative effects without even being aware that you're doing it. So in this video, I'll cover some things you might not have thought about that could save you a lot of trouble in the future. But first, why do people lie in the first place? It's because they think they can get away with it. For a while. Anyone with life experience will know you can't get away with anything forever. So, some people tell themselves they'll only tell lies in relationships they aren't serious about and then be honest in ones they want to last. But there are several problems with this. 1. Practicing lying means you're more likely to fall into the habit of lying in a long-term relationship. Since you're not practicing healthy conflict resolution, you're going to be especially prone to telling lies that cover up problems that might test or end the relationship, then start feeling like since you got away with it once, you can continue doing that thing in secret. 2. Because lying ruins your reputation. If you told one thing to your ex and another to your current partner, and these two people swap stories, they're both going to know you can't be trusted. And 3. Because being dishonest changes the energy you have. People's intuition, especially women's, will pick up that something is off with you, that there's something uncanny valley about the things you say and do because you don't even trust yourself. There's a few other reasons lying can come back to bite you. One is that pretending you're compatible with someone you're not prevents both of you from finding compatible relationships. For instance, if one of you likes spending all your free time playing board games, and the other wants to go dancing as much as possible, and both hate the other's activity but lie and pretend you don't, you're both going to spend your free time being miserable instead of finding your fellow board game or dance club enthusiasts. Another reason is that pretending you're better than you are can take away your motivation to improve. For instance, if you're pretending to have money by buying lots of fancy things, but really you're just going into credit card debt, it's going to be extra hard to become financially stable because you'll be in debt, and you'll be so spoiled that even basic frugality, like not getting a facial every month, will feel like torture to you. Plus, if you're pretending to have one virtue because you don't have any others, you won't be forced to develop them until it's too late. If you're pretending you're rich and therefore attract gold diggers who don't care about your personality, you'll always have a terrible personality and become cynical that other people do too, since those are the only ones you attract. A third reason is that when you're telling the person you're dating what you think they want to hear, you may in fact have no idea what they want to hear and get it completely wrong. Here's an example from my personal dating life. I once told a guy I'd started dating that I tended to fall for guys who weren't as interested in me as I was in them. Now, here's what I meant by that. I'm drawn to men who are so passionate about something in their life, like their career, their pet, their hobby, the gym, all of the above, that dating is barely on their radar at all. They're not the kind of guy who's looking to get as many women as possible. In fact, they're not trying to get women at all. They see most women as a distraction from the life they're working hard to build, and if they're gonna add a woman into that life, she needs to be as exceptional as he is. So, I liked guys who were honestly so hardworking they barely had time to text me back, had to schedule dates weeks out, whose attention I had to earn because their time is valuable. I liked these guys not because they didn't have much time for me, but because they spent that time in a way that made me respect them more for it. Their lack of anxiety over pursuing me was just a side effect of the real reason I liked them, the fact that they were doing cool stuff with their lives and were already fulfilled by a sense of purpose that didn't involve me. And even though I got rejected by all of them because they were out of my league, meeting them inspired me to do more cool stuff with my life and also find fulfillment in things other than dating. So anyway, the guy I said this to after we'd been on one date, who, let me be clear, was not part of this elite category of men, heard me say I liked guys who weren't interested in me, and this was how he reacted. He told me he hated all of the clothes I own and that they made me look ugly. When I was displeased that he said so, he backtracked and said he lied because he just thought that was what I wanted to hear, because it would show he was disinterested in me. Needless to say, he did not get a second date. The last reason you shouldn't try to pretend to be someone you're not is if you actually put effort into becoming the best version of you and become confident enough in who you are to be upfront about it, the people that you date will respect and value you more, and will probably be willing to accept more of your so-called flaws if you've set yourself apart in other ways. For example, if I had to choose between two guys who were both broke, I'd always prefer to date someone who worked 2 jobs and was frugal but learned to cook at home, over someone who took me to fancy restaurants, financed on credit card debt, and just hoped that their Dogecoin would one day pay it off. If you're upfront about where you need to improve and are actually working on it, the best kind of people will want to work on it together, and taking the plunge to be honest is the only way to find and keep them. Finally, always remember that creating a life that is fulfilling without a relationship gives you the power to tell the truth and set healthy boundaries without worrying about losing someone as a consequence. Because the worst person you can ever lose touch with is yourself. Love, Mayhem.